Welcome to your daily stock market summary from MarketSnap. Hey everyone, I'm thrilled to be back with you to break down all the action from today's market. We've got a packed session with some major moves, critical Fed updates, and plenty of insights for both your short-term trades and long-term wealth-building strategies. So grab a coffee and let's dive into what's shaping the markets on December 10th, 2025. First up, let's talk indexes, because they're setting the tone for the day. The Dow Jones surged over 1%, leading the pack with a strong performance, while the S&P 500 climbed a solid 0.67%. The Nasdaq wasn't far behind, with a 0.33% gain, showing tech is still in the game despite some mixed signals. And check this out, the Russell 2000, representing small caps, hit a record high with a 1.32% jump. This kind of broad strength, especially in small caps, could signal optimism about domestic growth for us long-term investors, though we've got to watch if this momentum holds. Now, the big story dominating headlines is the Federal Reserve's latest move. The Fed cut interest rates for the third straight time this year, bringing the benchmark rate down to a range of 3.5% to 3.75%. But here's the kicker. Chair Jerome Powell signaled a potential pause on future cuts, citing a cooling labor market and lingering inflation concerns from 2022 and 2023. President Trump wasn't shy about his thoughts, suggesting the cut could have been much bigger, even doubled. For us long-term folks, this cautious stance from the Fed means we might see less stimulus-driven growth in the near term, but it also underscores the importance of staying diversified in case of economic hiccups. Short-term, though, markets could get jittery if the Fed's hawkish tone spooks investors. Let's shift gears to some standout performers. On the large-cap gainers list, GE Vernova stole the show with a massive jump, fueled by raised guidance, a double dividend, and a beefed-up share buyback program. Shopify also caught attention with a nice bump, showing e-commerce strength, while Micron Technology and Nike posted solid gains, reflecting confidence in tech and consumer discretionary spaces. These moves highlight pockets of opportunity, especially for long-term investors eyeing sectors with strong fundamentals like renewable energy and retail innovation. On the flip side, we've got some notable decliners among large caps. Uber took a hit, partly due to regulatory headwinds in Europe and a trimmed price target from analysts. Netflix also slipped, alongside DoorDash and Mercado Libre, suggesting some pressure in streaming and delivery sectors. For us long-term players, these dips could be entry points if the underlying businesses remain solid, but short-term volatility might persist, so keep an eye on broader trends before jumping in. Looking at the market movers, Nvidia remains a heavyweight despite a slight dip today, still showing impressive yearly gains. Amazon and Tesla both posted gains, continuing to drive market sentiment with their innovation and scale. Meanwhile, Palantir surged, reflecting strong investor interest in data analytics and AI. These names are critical for long-term portfolios, as they often set the pace for tech-driven growth, though short-term fluctuations remind us to stay patient and focused on the bigger picture. In terms of trading activity, Nvidia again topped the most active list, showing it's still the darling of retail and institutional investors alike. Warner Bros. Discovery saw heavy volume with a nice uptick, likely tied to ongoing bidding war chatter. Smaller names like Open Door Technologies also saw significant action, hinting at speculative interest. High volume often signals short-term opportunities, but for us long-term investors, it's a reminder to look beyond the noise and focus on fundamentals. Earnings season is heating up, and this week's calendar is packed with names to watch. Costco is set to report, and given its consistent performance, it's one to keep on your radar for consumer spending insights. Adobe also reports soon, with analysts curious about how AI integration is boosting growth. Oracle's results are due as well, amid concerns about its debt levels post-AI investments. GameStop reported a profit but declining sales, reinforcing challenges in pivoting to new revenue streams. For long-term investors, these reports offer a glimpse into sector health. Think of them as checkpoints for your portfolio's exposure to retail, tech, and beyond.
Get exclusive AI summaries of every earnings call. No more reading hours of transcripts. Access revenue segmentation, 5-year analyst estimates, SWOT analyses, and full financial statements. Plus track upcoming earnings, dividends, and market events with MarketSnap's calendar app. Create a free account at MarketSnap.com.
Zooming out to a one-week view, some large-cap gainers really stand out. Polestar Automotive skyrocketed with an unbelievable gain, driven by speculative fervor. EchoStar and AST SpaceMobile also posted strong weekly gains, tied to space tech optimism and potential SpaceX valuation boosts. Warner Bros. Discovery continues its run, up significantly over the week. These short-term sprints can be tempting, but as long-term investors, we need to ask if these gains are backed by sustainable growth or just hype. On the weekly losers side, Alnylam Pharmaceuticals and Air Products saw double-digit drops, reflecting sector-specific pressures. Ferguson and Marvell Technology also took hits, with concerns around earnings and market positioning. These pullbacks might signal caution for short-term traders, but for us focused on the long haul, they could be chances to buy quality at a discount if the fundamentals hold up. Sector-wise, basic materials led the pack over the past week with a modest gain, followed by technology showing resilience. Consumer cyclical had a standout performance, suggesting holiday spending optimism. For long-term strategies, these sector moves can guide where to overweight your portfolio, especially if cyclical strength persists into 2026. On the flip side, healthcare lagged behind over the week, showing some weakness despite yearly gains. Industrials and consumer defensive sectors also underperformed slightly. These softer spots might not be immediate concerns for long-term investors, but they're worth monitoring if broader economic signals turn south. Wrapping up with a broader market perspective, the S&P 500's steady climb today reflects a market that's digesting the Fed's cautious outlook while still finding reasons to push higher. Historically, December tends to be kind to equities, and with small caps like the Russell 2000 breaking records, there's a case for continued optimism. However, with the Fed hinting at a pause and inflation still a wild card, long-term investors like us should stay balanced. Keep some dry powder for opportunities, but don't chase every rally. And over on the Nasdaq, tech's mixed performance today reminds us that while AI and innovation are long-term tailwinds, short-term sentiment can swing fast. Keep your focus on companies with real earnings growth, not just hype, as we head into 2026.
MarketSnap brings everything long-term investors use daily into one clean, fast platform. Explore stock financials, SWOT analysis, valuation ratios, 5-year analyst estimates, and our intrinsic value calculator, built with real fundamentals, not hype. All in a layout that's simple to read and ridiculously fast to navigate. And when you want to talk investing, join Nexus, our community where investors share valuations, posts, and stock discussions, all connected directly to the data. Use our stock's intrinsic value calculator to run and save real valuations with no spreadsheets. Share your analysis and valuations with others in the Nexus community. Get daily market summaries in video, audio, and article formats. Track the market with our earnings, dividend, and economics calendar. Our homepage gives you a real-time market overview with interactive heat maps, top market movers, and major index performance at a glance. Track daily performances, discover the most active stocks, and analyze performance across different timeframes, from weekly to yearly trends, and see which industries are leading or lagging. It's free to create an account, with optional access to premium forward-looking data. Try it now at MarketSnap.com and invest with clarity, not noise. That's a wrap for today's stock market summary from MarketSnap. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to stick with us for daily updates and deep dive SWOT analyses to keep your investment strategy sharp. Whether you're navigating short-term turbulence or building wealth for the long haul, we've got the insights to help. See you tomorrow.